So it was announced, not confirmed, well, probably confirmed, but not totally confirmed unless you rely on people like Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select and Mike Johnson, a PW insider, who have a track record of being successful in, reporting and confirming a lot of wrestling news in and out of places like AEW and WWE and so on. But right now, reports are going around, and it sounds like they are all but confirmed, that AEW will be holding the third Forbidden Door show at Arthur Ashe Stadium in June. Now, you might be wondering, well, why is it Arthur Ashe? What's going to happen with Grand Slam? We'll get into that in a moment. But to me, the timing of this announcement couldn't have been more ironic, because it was announced that, of course, Tony Khan had hired this lady who was part of the creative in WWE for several years, up till recently, until she was let go. And now she's the VP of Content Creation and part of the creative staff. And to me, I think, and she has a good resume. And I'm thinking what she did is she went to Tony Khan, met with him, met with Jeff Jarrett, met with those that do the venue booking, if you will, and told Tony, hey, I know you want to do Arthur Ashe Stadium for Grand Slam this year, but that may not be a good idea because everybody's going back to work, everybody's going back to school. But if you want to use Arthur Ashe, how about you use it for a pay-per-view in the summer? And I think that's when Tony got the idea of, well, the only pay-per-view we have in the summer outside of All Out and All In, is Forbidden Door. And she probably said, well, there you go. Why not book Forbidden Door for Arthur Ashe Stadium? Because and I'm guarantee you, the moment she said that, Tony's eyes probably lit up like, hey, that's not a bad idea. Because the time frame works out perfectly. Everybody will be starting their summer vacation. School will start getting out, college, high school, you name it, which, let's be honest, makes up a majority of the hardcore wrestling fan base and AEW fan base. Thus, it makes perfect sense for the event to take place in a venue like that because you can attract a huge audience up to Flushing, New York for that event, and you could potentially sell it out. And I guarantee you right now, with reports going around, yet confirmed, but obviously going to be, all directions are pointing in that direction, all signs, I should say, are pointing in that direction. All signs are pointing in that direction. You're announcing it now, I can guarantee that tickets will start selling. And they'll start selling in a big, big way because, again, you're taking an event that's your annual summer event, and you've been booking in smaller venues, well, not so small venues, but still, decent-sized arenas, and now you're moving it into a stadium, which you usually use during the fall, or at least the beginning of the fall season, for your Grand Slam event, which at first, when you did it, sold out because, hey, look who's the main event and going to be opening the show. And, oh, by the way, here's the rest of what follows that'll keep you entertained and intertwined. You sold it out the first time, but the second time around you didn't. Even though you had a decent main event, you didn't sell it, you didn't sell it out the second time around. You didn't do that. So now, obviously, you need to change things up. And I'm guaranteeing you, this lady probably suggested that if you want to still do Arthur Ashe, use it for something else. Use it, for an event in the summer where you are guaranteed a possible sellout. And he probably realized, hey, wait a minute, we have Forbidden Door in the summer outside of All Out and All In. We'll do that, and the rest is history. The rest is history. And again, the timing couldn't be better. And when you look at the images here, of Arthur Ashe Stadium, compare the attendance it had in September last year when they did Grand Slam and everything, and compare it to what the attendance could be during the summer or the beginning of the summer vacation, with Forbidden Door. An event which is a collaboration between AEW and New Japan and anybody else that could get along and not be at each other's throats can be part of. So imagine how full that will be in the summer on a weekend for that kind of an event. Now that's a smart move, and to me the timing of the announcement coincides, in my opinion, with this lady becoming the VP of Content Creation. I really believe that. But what about Grand Slam now? Well, Grand Slam will still take place, but it won't take place at Arthur Ashe. Instead, it will be going up the road, to Queens, New York, and to Louis Armstrong Stadium. And why do I think that's a good idea and a good move? Because that seats about 14,000 to 15,000 people. And that's a good move. Because even if you don't get a sellout for that in Louis Armstrong Stadium, even if you don't get a sellout, you could still get a decent-sized crowd. And oh, by the way, just like Arthur Ashe, it has a retractable roof. So even if you have to deal with some, I guess you could say unreasonable weather, if you have to deal with that, you can close the roof and still have the event. But there is a guarantee, though, it could sell out. There is a guarantee. Why? Why is it a guarantee? Because of the fact that it will be the first wrestling event to ever take place in Louis Armstrong Stadium, and the first proper wrestling event to take place in Queens. So that's going to attract a lot of people. And I think strategically, in my opinion, this should be the base model going forward. This should be the base model going forward. You want to do Arthur Ashe Stadium? Do it for a pay-per-view. And do it during the summer where you're guaranteed to have a decent crowd. You want to do Grand Slam? Use a stadium like Louis Armstrong Stadium that guarantees you a decent-sized crowd. And when you look at the pictures for Louis Armstrong Stadium, can you honestly blame, Tony Khan and those that probably suggested it to him to go with this for Grand Slam instead of Arthur Ashe? Can you honestly blame them? I can't. I can't really do that. I think it's a smart move. I think these are the first good steps in the right direction. Again, I told you before, they have the components. They have the components to have a successful 2024, to take the right steps needed. And to me, these are the first necessary right steps. I feel it. I feel it and I can sense it. And I can see it. I mean, again, imagine this stadium, first event, pro wrestling event ever in Queens, properly, from a big-time promotion. Imagine the crowd there. I'm just saying. But to me, this is a good move. So I got to give kudos to AEW. Again, nothing officially confirmed yet, but obviously there's a lot of talk going around that these are the events that are going to take place in these venues. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. What are your thoughts on AEW taking Forbidden Door 3 and moving it to Arthur Ashe Stadium in the summer? And what are your thoughts of them taking Grand Slam in September and moving it to Louis Armstrong Stadium? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. Love to hear from each and every one of you. And what other stadiums do you think outside of the New York area, what other stadiums in the U.S. do you think could be beneficial, if you will, beneficial for a Forbidden Door event and for the Grand Slam event? Let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later.